Hello everyone, this is V-Man. Well, for once, I'm actually kind of on time for one of these patches. It just released pretty much a little bit ago, so I get to actually see it right on time, so hopefully they actually translated this patch correctly. I guess before I get into the patch, there is the Undertow Spillway rework that is coming with this patch as well that was announced yesterday. And my hopes for it are pretty low. It doesn't seem like the schematic that they drew up is really going to change many of the issues that need to be fixed for this map to be one of the greats. Plus, the picture that they always have with the announcements is the new updated version, and it doesn't really look that different. So yeah, maybe it'll look different in some of the ranked modes, but my hopes are pretty low for it. But I guess my hopes can only be going up from here. Alright, on to the actual patch. Yep, terrain Undertow Spillway has been changed. Specifications for some main weapons have changed. Sploosh, slightly extended shots collision detection with players to make it easier to hit. Oh, so it has an effective range buff without actually changing the paint range. That's interesting. That'll make Sploosh a bit better of a fighter, especially the V Sploosh, because that's the one that's actually worth using half the time. Alright, Splattershot Pro and Forge. Maximum damage from 42 to 45. I don't know how much that'll actually help it. I mean, it's not nothing. It'll help a little. It goes from 84 to 90 in 2 shots. So I guess if someone's weak enough from another attack or standing in enemy ink or something, then this will help. But it probably won't do that much. But I'm sure the pro players will take it. Splattershot Nova. Reduce the shot spread while on land. Okay, that's exactly what this weapon needed. So I guess it won't affect the jump accuracy, but I mean, this weapon is super inaccurate. It definitely needed the higher accuracy, especially since it was branded as not losing any accuracy the longer you shoot. So I guess they just figured you can't lose any accuracy if you don't have any to begin with, but that won't be quite as much of a problem now. H3 Nozzle Nose, another max damage increase. So, I mean, it'll still kill in all 3 shots, of course, but I guess if you only hit 2 of the 3 shots, it'll be a little more likely to kill a weakened opponent. And plus, of course, just like with Pro, it'll have better object damage, so it might be a little more useful in something like Rainmaker. But let's be real, this won't be enough to actually make it a very useful weapon, but it's better than nothing. The Lunas increase the radius of the ink splatter at the point of impact with terrain or when detonated mid-air. So it paints better. I guess that helps, especially when you're painting walls. That'll be nice. Again, it's going to sound like a broken record, but that's pretty much just going to be something that's nice to have, but won't really make it a viable weapon as far as high ladder is concerned or competitive play. Of course, if you like any of these weapons, don't let me stop you from using them. I'm just saying from a more objective standpoint, all these weapons definitely needed buffs. Alright, let's keep going. The S-Blasts, ooh, Char is going to be happy, increase the radius of the 50 damage explosion for long flight range shots by about 11%. Oh, that's actually really good for that weapon, because its long range mode, especially for a blaster, has pathetically low object, or it has a pathetically low radius. So giving it 11% higher of a radius will definitely help it. It is only 50, so it won't combo with the burst bomb on the 91 kit, but unless you hit a direct, of course. But I mean, that's a good change. That'll definitely help this weapon. I could actually see the purple one, the 91, seeing some more use, especially since it's one of the better Booyah Bomb weapons. So if you want a Booyah Bomb, this might be your pick. Paintbrush. Ooh, I hope they buff this thing really nice. Increased inking width when holding the ZR button to ink when moving forward by 18%. I mean, sure. I don't know how much that'll help. I guess it'll keep it from running into enemy ink while running forward more. That'll be nice, I guess. Shorten the time before ink starts recovering after holding the ZR button to ink while moving forward by approximately 1/6 of a second. So if you're whiting frames on the running mode. Two decent buffs, but man, this thing really needs something for that wind up. It either needs the wind up to be more powerful to be worth how slow the initial shot is, or it just needs to be shorter. And until one of those two things happens, I can't really see this weapon being very useful going forward. But if you really like Paintbrush, I'm sure this will help. Dapples. Movement speed while firing is now about 5% faster, so it can strafe better. Sure, I guess. It doesn't help it when it's in turret mode after firing, so this only affects the normal, non-dodge rolled version. But, I mean, better strafing speed, especially for paint. That's not nothing. No sub-weapon changes. Big sad. Specifications for some special weapons have changed. Big Bubbler. Reduced damage dealt to the inner device and top section by approximately 22%. So the weak point is not as weak anymore. It does get shredded pretty fast, so I guess it'll just be a little more annoying to fight, but I could see this being more worthwhile, especially since this doesn't affect the outside, so it's not really a buff, at least not much of one, for tower control where it's most annoying. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully it's good enough but not annoying, because this is definitely one of those you don't like fighting it sort of specials. Screen. Damage from 30 to 40. I guess they didn't really fix the issues with screen for some people. There's still some audio issues that people don't really gel with. So, but from a more balancing perspective, I don't know how much this will help. This just feels like Dart, like how they just keep buffing the damage for the angle shooter. They buffed it from 30 to 35, then 35 to 40, and now they're just buffing this from 30 to 40. I guess this will make it a little less of an incentive to just tank it and instead avoid it or go around it or something like that. But that's the thing, it's not too hard to avoid a lot of the time. And tanking it is still not going to be that problematic. Alright, triple splashdown. Reduced the amount of time it takes for a player to it takes for the player and Ink Fist to start dropping after they rise by about 1/6 of a second. So the triple splashdown will be faster. So they did make this version slower than the current version in Splatoon 2. So that's fine, I guess. But man, this thing is super annoying to dodge already. Oh, but decrease the radius of the 60 damage explosion by 13%. Okay, that's interesting. So it'll be easier to be out of the explosion radius, but you have less time to do it. So this kind of feels more like a rework that makes it so that it'll be harder to shoot down, but also harder to get any kills with because the radius is smaller. we'll see how this goes. I think this is a decent change. And Kraken Royale. Oh, made it so that super jumping to an ally using Kraken Royale will super jump to the location where the ally started using Kraken Royale rather than the ally's current position. They fixed Kraken Cheese. Let's go. Now Kraken Royale is going to be useless in anything else. Although the thing is, you can still jump to it once the effect ends, I assume. I guess, how long of a cooldown is there? So is it the absolute frame that it becomes vulnerable, then you can jump to it? Or is it you have to wait until you're fully actionable before you can jump to where the player is? Because if it's the former, Kraken Cheese will be more tight. It's going to be harder to pull off, but it will still be possible. But if it's the latter, then it will not really be practical at higher level, because then you can just kill it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it will be like to play Clan Blitz without Kraken Cheese anymore, or even just playing normally. I think this will be an interesting, good change. And points for special. Neo Splash is 200. Okay, fine. I guess 10 attack's better than it. NZAP 89 is 170 chumps. Okay. Oh my gosh, they're making Carbon Roller 160 Zipcaster. How many 160 weapons do we have? I think this is the only one, actually. They really want Carbon to be good, I guess. But let's be real. The Carbon Deco is definitely going to be the better one forever. Because this could be like 120p, and the Carbon Deco could be 290p, and the Carbon Deco will be better just because it's a Carbon with a burst bomb. The Zipcaster will not help Carbon make up for that, unless they actually buff it somehow. But they probably won't, because it's good on the Splatana Stamper. Gold Dynamo, 180 chumps. Cool, I guess. More chump spam. But chump's pretty weak. I can deal with it. Splat Charger, 190 vac. I mean, alright. That's fine. Yeah, and Splatter Scope as well. Dapple Dooley's getting the cheaper cooler, along with the strafing speed buff. So it'll get a lot more coolers. Oh, wait, there's no pencil nerf, is there? There's no Zuka nerf. There's no Tact Cooler nerf. And I don't see Snipe Rider getting any reduction. I guess it could be down there later. Oh, it's at the bottom. Spoiled myself. But yeah, Dapple Doolies. They'll definitely be stronger in solo queue, farming those coolers and giving those jumps, but it still just doesn't have an entry tool, because it just sets up structures and doesn't have anything to make up for its low range. So yeah, I guess it'll be fun in solo queue, but don't expect to see this at the next major. Splatter Shot is 210. I guess they kind of gave it a nerf. It still has the annoying Zuka. But this is an improvement. Same thing with Squeezer. So, yeah, less Zuka spam, at least from the main offenders. Range Blaster, 200 to 210. This may be a controversial take, but I think it's justified. Range Blaster is just a tiny bit too strong, in my opinion, so making it get less Wavebreaker, it's just a slap on the wrist. It's not really going to affect anything, because the Wavebreaker's not that strong. But it's something. And yeah, Snipe Rider finally getting that 210 cooler. It'll still be the best cooler weapon, though. That's almost guaranteed. So, nothing really here that I feel is worth busting out the game itself for, to show what I think the changes would look like. Yeah, closest thing would probably be either Paintbrush or Dapples, but this just paints more and this just walks faster. Okay. This update focuses on making changes to multiplayer. For some main weapons, we strengthened their unique characteristics or made them easier to handle. For the big bubbler, we've changed it to increase the amount of time you can safely act by making it harder to destroy, even from positions that make it easy to attack the weak points. Fair enough. For the splatter color screen, we changed it to make it easier to control opponents' movements by increasing the risk of touching the screen. Alright. I'm still probably just going to avoid it or jump through it intentionally. It's not really going to change how I play most of the time, I think. For the triple splashdown, while it is difficult to time its use when opponents actively attempt to shoot the player down, it is extremely powerful when opponents don't shoot the player down. Therefore, we have simultaneously changed it to make it harder to shoot down and narrow the area of effect. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what I said. For the Kraken Royale, we changed it to ease an issue where, from the perspective of opposing players, it felt difficult to stop countdown progression when combining Kraken Royale with super jumps in certain modes. I wonder what the certain modes are. It's okay. You can say Clan Blitz. We understand. We plan on releasing the next update at the end of the current season. Yada yada. The next update is also planning to change it so that when a player's rank in any mode is within 1,000 for the previous season's X rating, the rank change due to the season switch will become S+0. Oh, that's nice, because all those people who can get top 10, top 100, or whatever in X rank still get demoted to rank S because they didn't bother pushing to S+10. That's a good change. This change is to alleviate a problem making matchmaking in X battles difficult immediately after the season switch for players with particularly high X power. So yeah, it's only rank 1000 though. That's a bit disappointing. I was hoping it'd go a little further, maybe top 5000. Not that I'm in top 5000, but it'd be nice. But even having the top 1000 already starting in X rank to begin with should make it a bit easier to get back into X and S plus for anyone who does actually drop down. So that's a good change. Alright, and the rest of it is bug fixes. So I will pause the video and I'll come back if there's anything particularly interesting. And if not, that will be the end of this video. Alright, the bug fixes didn't really have anything particularly interesting. The closest thing is that there's a really funny typo right here. Like they tried to mix two different wordings of the same patch. But other than that, that's pretty much the patch. So overall thoughts, it's pretty good. It does miss a few things. I wish there had been just a couple more meaningful buffs to lower tier weapons. And of course, the 10 points for special on the Snipe Rider is not going to dethrone it from being the best backline and the best support weapon at the same time. But overall, I think this will definitely make the game better, especially at a more competitive level. We've got less Zukas, we've got a little less Snipe Rider dominance, even if it's still going to be there. No more Kraken cheese. Triple Splashdown will be a bit better where it's bad now, and a bit worse where it's annoying and good now. Overall, it's fine. I'd give it maybe a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my reaction to version 7.2.0. If you made it this far, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.